How's it going, everyone? Tyson Gaming here, and welcome to Pokemon Scarlet. For this video, I will be going over my thoughts on Pokemon Indigo Disk DLC, and unlike the last one I just did, this one will contain spoilers, so this will be your one and only warning. If you guys are playing through the Indigo Disk DLC, or plan to, and don't want to be spoiled or anything, please click off the video now. This has been your only warning. If you want to know my overall thoughts on it without spoilers, I released a video earlier which will go over it without the spoilers. So click off the video now and go click on that if you want to remain spoiler free. But with that said, that has been your warning, and now I will talk about spoilers on why I love the Pokemon Indigo Disk DLC. Like I mentioned in the last video, I absolutely loved the different environments. I love all the Pokemon. It's so cool to see them back, like Dukanon. We haven't seen him back at all. Cabrawler, all that fun stuff. More importantly, I love the characters in this game. I love Crispin, I love Drayton, I love Lacey, and I forget the fourth girl's name for the Elite Four. I love them all. They all have very challenging battles and pretty difficult trials as well in order to get to battle them. That was interesting that they brought that back in from the main game. You just didn't battle them like the normal Elite Four. Because in the base game, you all had to overcome trials in order to get to the gym leader. And they did that the same thing here with the BB League Elite Four. With Crispin's thing, having to make a super spicy sandwich, Lacey, a quiz, Drayton was just a straight up double battle, against a couple of opponents. And the Steel type girl, whose name I cannot remember, I'm sure someone in the comments will remind me who her name is a flying trial, which, by the way, flying with Koraidon and Miraidon, absolutely fantastic. It's probably the best feature they added in this outside of the sync machine. Like, it is so cool that you can actually go and fly now instead of glide. Like, just watch this. Like, it is so cool. You could just basically take off of anywhere and just fly around with these guys. Like, it offers so much mobility now. Like, it is very unreal that you can just do this. Like I thought that eventually they would, because obviously we saw Miraidon and Koraidon fly out of Area 0 in the opening cutscene in this game, but I never thought they would actually give us the feature, and it is fantastic now that it's here. And just in case you guys are wondering how you unlock it, essentially you just beat the story mode, and then they'll just give you, I believe it is a special blend that Koraidon or Miraidon eats, and then they just gain the power permanently, which is kind of weird, but also at the same time, it's kind of funny that it's like, oh yeah, here's some supplement allow them to fly, and Miraidon and Koraidon just eat the entire thing and gain the power. Which, considering they love sandwiches, is not off-brand for them. But the biggest thing is, for me, was the endgame story with Kieran. Kieran, in between Kitakami and the Indigo Disk, just went completely off the rails. Like, he became a completely different person. Not to mention, obviously, his design change. Like, he became, like, I'm gonna say straight up, he became a total jerk to basically everyone around him, including his sister Carmine. I mean, obviously, he just wanted to become strong enough to take us down, but at the same time, it's like, bro, you need to chill and relax. But obviously, towards the end of the story, he did have redemption and came back to his own self when we had to go battle Sharapagos, which is obviously the little turtle. But yeah. Obviously, the other big thing about the story is obviously going into the deeper parts of Area 0, which that I won't show right now because I don't feel like leaving the terrarium right now. But the deeper parts of the Area 0 is absolutely insane. Like, I can't believe we have a Stellar type, which is insane that we have a Terra type that can technically allow you to access all the typings. Because essentially what the Stellar type does, it allows you to get a stab boost with each one of your moves one time. So let's say I send out Striker, I Terra him the Stellar, he gets a boost with Flamethrower, but if I use Flamethrower again, it won't get the boost. If I use Dragon Pulse, he will get a Dragon type stab off of it, but again, only for once. It's a little interesting the way it works, but essentially it's a more aggressive Terra type Like if you set up with a Pokemon and then tear it into something and have a super bulky opposing Pokemon, it allowed it to get stabbed and potentially take it out. Like, it's definitely weird, and you'd probably have to watch some battle videos to fully understand it. Like, even when I read it, I had no idea how it worked, but after a while, I just kind of seen how it works. And speaking of Area Zero, this guy right here, Paradox Entei. Finally get to see him, which, if I remember correctly, it's called Ceratosaurus, which is like a branch of the Triceratops family. It is insane that he's finally here, and he looks so badass. Because obviously before this, we saw obviously Walking Wake, which is before Kitakami, and then obviously, which Raiku's thing? Something Thunder? Raging Thunder? Raging Storm or something like that. And obviously we've seen him in the trailers as well, but Gouging Fire here, which is obviously a super badass name, Gouging Fire. We haven't seen this guy. The only way you can do this is if you beat the game, catch 200 Pokemon in the Blueberry Academy Pokedex, and then talk to our girl Purin. But it is still unreal. Like, I assumed, like, when I talked to Sprite that Entei would obviously get a Paradox form, because obviously if Raikou got one and Suicune got one, you know this guy was going to get it too. And we always talked about how bulky he was going to be, because obviously out of the 3 legendary beasts, Entei is the bulkiest, and it makes sense for him to be like this. Like, we assumed he was going to be either like this super bulky T-Rex, or it was going to be a bulky Triceratops, which, you know, technically he is, and he looks absolutely badass. He looks so cool, like, absolutely fantastic. Like, he is a unit and a half, right, Gouging Fire? Yeah. He is a unit. But yeah, like, Area Zero, there's still a lot of unanswered questions about it, but I assume they'll eventually come to fruition over time. But in all honesty, in terms of difficulty with the DLC, I'm not the greatest at double battling. Like, most of my strategy was basically set up and basically try to one-shot everything, which for the most part it did work. Like the battle I had the most difficult with was against Drayton and against Lacey. Lacey because most of my team were Dragon types and she's a Fairy type Elite Four member. And then Drayton because obviously he is Dragon, and Dragon resists pretty much everything. The other big thing is that they had Tailwind on their team, so they were able to take out a lot of my Pokemon before I was able to take out one of them. Though I didn't lose to either one of them, it did have to work a lot harder than normal. And Kieran's final battle, I think Kieran was probably one of the easiest battles I've had in this DLC. Like, he was made up to be this big, bad final boss, and yet he was probably easier than I would say almost all of the Elite Four. The only Elite Four member I had zero trouble with whatsoever was the Steel-type Elite Four member who sits in the Canyon biome, whose name I am not ever going to remember. And that is because, obviously, my favorite typing is Fire. So I just had a Terra Striker, and then we just swept from there. But yeah, no, it was still a good fight, though. In all honesty, I really do hope they continue making more Scarlet and Violet DLC. Like, please don't let it end this soon. Like, this game is really, really good, and it's going to be such a shame to see that it doesn't get any more big updates like this. Like, I imagine it will. Like, there's no way it's not, because obviously we still have a lot of loose ends to wrap up with Area Zero, I'd imagine. Because obviously Tropicos, he's obviously the big treasure of Area Zero. But obviously the question is, how did he get his Terra typing? Where does the Stellar type come from? How does it all work? Because obviously the story with Kieran and Carmine, it came full circle with the Indigo Disk update. But in all honesty, I loved it. Because what I really felt, the only downside to me is that both DLCs felt kind of short. Because in all reality, once you beat the Elite Four and Kieran, you go straight into Area Zero to track down Tropicos, and then the story just kind of ends. And that's mainly because obviously the Teal Mask and the Indigo Disk DLC are basically part 1 and part 2. And they're kind of meant to be more or less played one after the other. So it makes sense that it felt short because, again, it's 2 parts of the story. Like, honestly, it took me about 8 hours to head down and beat everything. I probably could have done it about half the time, but I was just too busy exploring all the biomes. And I'm still exploring the biomes. I guess the only big other downside for this is the grind that I have to do. Okay, how did I encounter Grimer? He's behind the tree. Is the grind that I have to do now to unlock the starters. Because in case you guys are curious on how to unlock the starters, you have to grind up 3,000 battle points to increase the, I guess, the quality of the biomes. And you have to do that for each biome. So it's 3,000 per biome, and you have to grind up 12,000 BP. In case you guys are wondering how fast the BP gain is, just to give you a good idea, the most I can get is 200 BP, and that's basically every time I do 10 tasks. And every task is between 20 and 40 points. And I have to get to 12,000. And I still have yet even to upgrade even one biome yet. Which, you know, is fantastic. I mean, obviously it keeps you playing the game, but it is kind of annoying. Like, that's my only real big downside, but, you know, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm going to be gaming. From what I've seen online, the best way to do this is with multiplayer. So, hey, if you guys are down to maybe grind this out one of these days, this video gets to over 10 likes, I will do a live stream, and we will grind out the BBQ quests to increase the, thingamajigs, the biomes. I forgot the word for a second. Silly me. So yeah, if you really want to play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with me, if this video gets over 10 likes, I will do that in a live stream. But in all honesty, the main reason why I didn't stream the Indigo Disk, which I probably could have, is one, today would be realistically the only day I would have been able to, and I really wanted to get going and play this game. Two is because obviously when I do play through DLCs like this in any Pokemon game, I like to do it at my own pace. Like, I hate having to, like, you know, sit down, record, edit, and then wait a few days so I can record and edit again. Like, I want to do this when I want to, when I can, and just go from there. But all in all, hold on, I need to catch a Vileplume here real quick. That's one of the Pokemon I'm missing from the Pokedex. So while I'm catching this, I will start with the outro, and I do not have... Oh, I do have quick balls, never mind. I will start my outro. In the comments down below, if you guys have played through the Indigo Disk DLC, let me know your thoughts on it. Do not worry about any spoilers. This has been obviously a spoiler video. So if you have thoughts on it and want to include spoilers, go ahead in the comments down below. That is not going to be 100% fine. It's going to be 100% fine. Yes, let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on it. If you like what you saw in today's video, make sure you hit the like button, especially if you guys want to eventually play this game to me live on stream. Let me know by if you hit the like button, 10 likes, and I'll do that. But all in all, I absolutely loved this DLC, and I really do wish and hope and pray that they do more with it. Like, because this is a really fun game, and I really do hope we get another, like, DLC 3 or DLC 4. Because obviously they only did 2 DLCs with Sword and Shield, and they did that more towards the end of Sword and Shield's lifespan, versus this one, it's kind of more towards the beginning. And I really do hope we get another, like, 3, maybe even 4 DLCs to kind of give us this new broken Pokemon or something. But yeah, that's been my overall thoughts on it, and spoilers. I loved the story, I loved the battles. It is really interesting that they made every battle here double battles. But I mean, obviously that's the main competitive scene of Pokemon, like the main competitive thing with the VGC, that's what it is double battles. Like, that's the #1 thing people look for, which I imagine that's why they did that. But it's always interesting to see, because double battles, as much as I love playing, and they're not entirely my thing, but I still managed to have a blast battling all the trainers here, or I should say most of them, and then obviously the Elite Four. There's obviously a lot I have to do here yet, like I have to go to the club room, unlock all that stuff with the teachers. I still have to upgrade all the biomes so I can get the starter Pokemon, so I can finally start shiny hunting them. And then obviously I have to outbreak a Porygon. I can go back and get a shiny Porygon after this. Nice. And then obviously I have to go unlock the legendaries, whose, spoiler warning, they are unfortunately shiny locked. And for most of them, they are version exclusives, and you need to have a partner to go get some. So if you want to get a Rayquaza, you need someone with Pokemon Scarlet and another one Pokemon Violet, using the Union Room and be able to go and get it, which kind of sucks because obviously I love Rayquaza and I really wanted one. But again, in all honesty, outside of that, this DLC was top notch, very good. I would definitely recommend whoever has Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to get both DLCs and play through them, because both of them are absolutely fantastic. But with that all said, thank you for watching my 2 review videos. Obviously, both of them are just kind of me rambling, because whenever I do these kind of videos, I never really have any structure, there's no focus. I just basically pick a topic, to go over my thoughts on them, and just branch off from there. So, thank you guys so much for dealing with my rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed. And for those of you who are going to be playing through the Indigo Disk, I hope you enjoy it as well. And I'll talk to you all next time. Now, excuse me, I'm going to go get that one. I'm going to go see if I can get a shiny Porygon. Peace.